you come back into the side and they start winning and beating big European sides. Is there any correlation?
I'm not 100% sure if that it is correlation, but no, it's nice to get back into the side. I'm playing regularly, and obviously it's nice to beat some of the teams that we've beaten, and obviously it's given us really good confidence going into the next couple of games.
After that breakthrough period for you, Keiran, where you got into the Ospreys side, started playing regularly, what's the last year, maybe that sort of period been like for you? Must have been quite frustrating.
Yeah, it's I won't lie, it is a bit difficult. Obviously when you break through and you hope you're going to play week in, week out, and then you get little niggles and they just set you back, and the only thing that helps with the players is playing week in, week out and getting that match fitness, and it really does make a difference. But obviously, like myself, especially the last 2 years, I've had just little niggles that have held me back, but I'm feeling good at the moment, and that's the main thing, and hopefully I can keep that going.
How do you keep going through that period when you go through the sort of the rehab club, as they call it?
Mentally it is difficult, but you just got to keep looking at the end goal, and the end goal is obviously to get back playing and playing regularly, and that's all you can really think about. And obviously the good thing is we got a good group of return to play guys who help us get back, and with the rehab and all that. And yeah, it is a difficult time, but also you just got to focus on getting back playing.
And you've had 3 good victories recently. What's been the secret to that, starting out in Montpellier?
I'm not too sure. I think, to be honest, we've dominated up front, I would say, in the last 3 games. And we've gone away from that, which is good. But I think our attacking structure, or we try to go for it more than we have done in the previous games. But I think it's obviously been smart as well. We've played in the right areas, and we haven't made the mistakes that have cost us some of the tight games that we lost in the first 5 or 6 games. And yeah, it's just got to keep on going now. We've got to keep on trying to attack as much as possible. But also I feel like our defence has been quite resolute and quite very good. Obviously some of the boys, especially in the pack, who are very physical, have brought that to the fore really, and we've obviously defended well as a team, which has made a difference in my opinion.
And in the next 3 weeks, you've got the leading Irish side, the French and English champions again, so it's not getting any easier, is it? It
does not get any easier at all. It does definitely get tougher, but as players, and obviously as professional players, we want to play in these games, and you want to test yourself against the best, and these next 3 games are probably the best teams you'll come against, and obviously it's going to show us where we are and what we need to get better going into the latter stage of the season.
And Leinster, they're sort of standard bearers, although they didn't win the league last season, but they regularly have. Coming to Swansea, how much of a statement would it be to try and get a win over them this week?
Leinster are for me the best team in Europe. They've set a pedestal, and they're probably the best team in every area, in every facet of the game. For us, to beat them will be a massive statement going forward. And we've identified a lot of areas that we can really match them, but on the day hopefully we will bring those things to the game, and hopefully we'll give that statement that will help us go into that stage of the competition.
What's it been like playing outside Keiran Williams, given obviously a new face there?
I think especially as a centre, I mean you like that experience inside with a 10 who takes charge of the game. It has been very good to myself because he's allowed me to do what I'm good at, and yeah, it's just it's something that obviously is great for us because he's brought that experience, that calm nature that he's got to his game, and I think that's really helped us in the last 3 games.
And your goal for the rest of the season, is it regular rugby up until May?
Yeah.
What are you looking at here?
Yeah, that's exactly that. I'll just hopefully play week in, week out now, and just stay fit, and that is my main objective, and hopefully I can continue that till the end of the season.
There's some decent settings at the Ospreys as well, isn't there?
Exactly, but that's part and parcel of rugby, and that's what makes teams good, is having that competition in areas, and I feel like we've got that across the squad, and that's only going to make us better, and it's going to make me better and other players as well, so that's a good thing.
Thank you, Keiran. Good luck on Saturday.
Thank you, mate. Cheers. Appreciate that. Thanks.
Keiran, can I ask you what you've done, to hit such a rich vein of form, if you like?
I'm not too sure. I probably haven't gone away from what I'm good at. Obviously, what I feel I'm good at is different to some of the other centres. Probably maybe better at carrying the ball, and obviously I've got that little footwork close to the line, which is difficult for defenders. And obviously, there's boys here who are obviously very good with the ball in hand, and it's just for me, it's just trying to get my hands on the ball as much as possible.
Yeah, the last time you were on this, I remember you saying that you're going to make an effort, if you like, to expand your game. How's that going? And
I'm definitely still in the process of trying to make myself a more all-round player. Like last 2 years, if you fast forward 2 years, I definitely would have liked to be in a better position in terms of ability-wise, skill-wise. I can still try and work on that as much as possible, but I just try and focus as much as possible on the things that I'm good at, and hopefully then, if I do the things I'm good at, the things I'm not as good at will come through.
So over the past year or two, really, what injuries have you had? You mentioned a lot of sort of niggling little injuries. There's been nothing big, is there? It's just been a series of bumps, is it?
Yeah, so I think going back to the start of last season, right at the start, I had a little trouble with my head just before the season started. And then I had a run of games, and I tore like lower part of my rib, which was a bit of a freak injury. I have no idea how I did it. But then I'll see selection wise then towards the end of the season when I come back, and then I was ill out in South Africa, so I didn't have much luck that way. And start this season I had a little niggle on my shoulder, but that was nothing big. It's all just been little niggle injuries which have kind of kept me out for a week or two, and then kind of puts you behind then with selection and trying to get fit in training. And obviously if you're not playing, it's difficult then to get that match fitness that you need.
Do you ever sort of think, Keiran, crikey, where's this all going? There's just one bump after another, and as Gareth mentioned there, the competition is so hot down at the Ospreys with, you've got Owen, you've got George, you've got Michael Collins, Joe Hawkins. Do you ever sort of think to yourself, crikey, I really do need to get fit again?
100%. Like I feel like I'm obviously a better player when I play week in, week out, and that fitness really does tell. But obviously, those little niggles don't help you because you've got some fantastic players in my position, and if they're playing well, they're not going to come out to the side, and it then makes it really difficult for me to get back in, especially if those little niggles are keep on happening. But hopefully now, next couple of games, get around the games, and I can stay fit, I can stay injury free, and hopefully that'll take me to the end of the season and put me in a good spot.
You obviously feel that you're a much better player than you were, when you first came on the scene?
Yeah, definitely, 100%. Obviously, I've gained a lot of experience over the last couple of years, playing against some fantastic players, and that definitely does help. You kind of see what they do and what they're good at, and you try and replicate that when you play against them. And I did definitely feel that experience has helped me to become a better player. I'm 25 now. I'm getting a bit older, so it's so obviously I've got to get better. I've got to gain that experience, and there's definitely things I can improve as well. So.
And how do you feel? It's Welsh rugby being Welsh rugby. You have 2 or 3 good performances, and you find yourself the focus for attention again. I saw your name in one Welsh squad yesterday, written by a reporter. How do you feel about being touted, as a potential candidate for the Six Nations?
I think timing is everything in rugby, and yeah, look, don't get me wrong, it is great to be touted, it is great to be on that kind of radar that are people talking about, but my focus is purely playing with the Ospreys week in, week out, and staying fit, because obviously with the nature of the game, the nature that I've had the last couple of years, I just got to keep playing and playing well, and like you just never know what will happen. Rugby's a funny old game. Oh, sorry mate, I think you're still on mute.
And building on what Gareth said there, playing outside Owen, what other players have helped you over the last few months, and indeed before then?
So I've played a lot of games with Owen Watkin, and obviously he's got that experience of playing for Wales. and I've just tried to study him a couple of times, especially like with Scott Williams, who was here before, and he was obviously different in terms of his ball handling ability, and I just try to kind of replicate what he did in training, or try to look and try to observe what he did and make sure that I can do some of the things he does. But obviously, yeah, it's just always been a massive help for me. See, George North's been here, that experience has been a lot of players, and also I won't forget Mikey Collins, who's a big voice, especially when I'm playing with him. He's a very good talker, and that definitely helps me do my game.
Yeah, both Owen and Scott, they seem to have mastered this ability to rip the ball off opponents as well.
Yeah, it is. You see Owen do that quite a lot, and Scott. And it's definitely difficult as defensive. You got someone like that against you.
Just on Leinster this weekend now, they're a formidable team. What are your thoughts on how you can try and combat what they bring to the table?
First and foremost with us, it's a very good set piece team, scrum and line out, and also we are as well. So if we can nullify what they're good at in that area, I think we'll be fine. And also they generate a lot of quick ball, especially their nines always tend to have the ball on the plate always, and we just got to slow that down as much as possible. And at the end of the day, it's going to be a real tough ask, especially defensively. But if we can match up like we have done the last couple of weeks, I can't see why we can't come away with the win.
Yeah, defensively, Ospreys been quite good this season. You've been part of that, and games against Montpellier and things like that really showed the appetite to defence, and you want to fight with the player next to you and that kind of thing. But they've made the most meters gained this year, as you said, their quick ball. How do you deal with when the defence is stressed? How do you deal with getting back into shape and trying to solve those problems?
It's difficult, isn't it? I think they're probably the best team at capitalising, and they're very clinical when teams are stressed. But our sole aim is to really slow that ball down as much as possible. But if we can, then we're just going to have to kind of hold and try to push them to the touchline. And if we can get them to the touchline, then we can really slow them down off that touchline. And that's just our sole aim, is really to slow that ball down and try and make it as tough as possible for that 9 and 10.
Yeah, is that breakdown really crucial then for that aspect?
Yeah, the breakdown is massive for every single side. If you generate quick ball, it makes the attack far easier. And if you watch Leinster, they tend to have quick ball every single game they play. And it's just on us now, is if we can slow that ball down, we can put ourselves in the best opportunity then to come away with something.
Yeah, and with Leinster being one of the best teams in the league, fantastic players, often playing for Ireland, that kind of thing, do you see it as a really good opportunity for yourself to try and put your name forward for possible selection for the national team?
No, of course, there's obviously a lot of players in the Ospreys now who would love to be up for selection, and I think they will. But I think as a team now, we've got to focus on what they're good at, and as a team, we're only going to win, or we're going to get something if we play as well as a team. If we all do our jobs, and I'm sure if we do that, then I can't see any reason why we can't really test Leinster as much as possible.
Yeah, and just finally on the kicking battle, it's a really interesting change in attack really with the kick in for the Cardiff game. Was that due to the conditions, or is that just showing how you've got different bows to that, and how important is having a varied kicking game in case something doesn't work?
Yeah, like you've got to have a varied kicking game. You've got to kick off 9, you've got to kick off 10, and also you've got to be able to kick in those wide channels as well, off the back 3 and even centres. That's something I've got to get better at, is recognising when you can put that ball through, or when you can pass it. And this weekend is going to be massive in terms of the kicking game. Hopefully the weather is good. I don't think the forecast is very good, but we'll see. But especially that first half, I don't think we kicked as much as we could have. I think Cardiff won the kicking game, but I think second half then, I think really played the kicking game well and got our set piece going. I think we dominated in that area, and I think that's what got us the win in the end. And I think if Leinster will have a very good kicking game, and they're probably the best for varying their kicking game, but we have to be equally as good this weekend. And kind of try and put them in a back foot and make sure we are as sound as possible in that back three.
Yeah, just quickly on the kicking game. You said you kicked a lot less and that kind of thing, but a lot less kicks actually went out to touch. Was that a game plan, and is that something that you're looking at in the future?
I'm not 100% sure whether that was our game plan. I think we tried to play too much maybe last week, especially in our first half. But I think we trust our defence. So I think if the ball doesn't go out a touch, we're more than capable to really shut their dangerous players down. But this weekend, if things don't go right, then we got to be more than capable to stop them and slow them down as much as possible, because they've got dangerous players all over that park.